So the green flag waves at the end of the pre-grid as Micromax come out for race 8 of the meeting, heat number 2 out of 3. And this is how things start once again. 7 minutes on the clock, plus an additional lap. Scott Marsh from Great Britain.
Alongside. Mies Huben and Jake Menton complete the top 2 rows. Boris Maximov and Dean Hugendorn will complete the top three rows, rounding out 5th and 6th position respectively. Zdeněk Babišek from the Czech Republic in the 25 will be in 7th position, alongside Austria's Dragos Avisil Kultai. And then we have Niklas Casarino from Germany.
Now rounding out the top 9 positions.
So, for those on the stream, Scott Marsh starts from pole position. Max Swiderski in 2nd. Mies Huben and Jake Menton round out the top 2 rows. Boris Maximov and Dean Hugendorn round out the top 6 ahead of Zdeněk Babišek, Dragos Avisil Kultai and also Niklas Casarino. They now go on to the formation lap ahead of another 7 minutes plus an additional lap. And the temperature has steadily increased over the course of the day. 34 degrees Celsius outside, and I saw a picture from one of my colleagues that the track temperature is 40 degrees centigrade plus and climbing. We're due to hit a high of 37 degrees Celsius later on this afternoon at around about 3 o'clock local time. So, as they say, the heat is on, and it's not just the air temperature, it's also out on the circuit. The drivers now make their way through into turn number 12 here at the 1,360 metre circuit. Out of the final corner they come. Full start, the first one of the meeting. So another formation lap for our Micromax drivers, all drivers making the signal that means that they have seen that the amber lights flash on the gantry. So it is control, out and delete. It's a reset, a reboot of the system software, ready to get things underway. Let's see if it's second time lucky this time around as they come through turn 6 and head down towards turn 7 off of the back straightaway. So Scott Marsh will start from pole position. Max Swiderski will be alongside on the front row. And so far, the Micromax drivers again continue to entertain, continue to provide some spellbinding action. As now, they come round turn 11 once again. They will then be told to slow slightly and then be asked to split when they come into the tram line. 7 minutes on the clock. We'll start counting down the minute we get going racing. Lights are on. Full start again, second time. So now, let's see if it is third time lucky this time around. Now with their race suits and their race helmets on, every single driver is being tested both to the physical and mental limits. Because when the adrenaline starts coursing through the veins of any driver, irrespective of the conditions that are thrown in their general direction, they have to rise above and conquer those difficulties that they will face. 7 minutes plus an additional lap, reset on the timer. Red lights reignited on the starting gantry. So it's Marsh and Swiderski on the front row of the grid. 9 drivers in Micromax set to get underway this time around, hopefully, for 7 minutes plus an additional lap. They come out of turn number 12. They now filter their way into the tram lines. This looks like a better time around, and we are lights out. Marsh gets a good run. Mieshuben behind gets up into second position. Swiderski hung round the outside to dry, going through as he tries to set it up the inside of Mieshuben and makes the move stick through into turn number 3. Looks like we've had one driver, looks to be possibly Jake Menton, I think might have dropped down all the way down to 9th position as they head through turn 6 for the first time. Swiderski closing on Scott Marsh. These two were battling tooth and nail all the way through the first heat earlier on this morning. There's now the entire field, the bottom 3, which looks to be Hugendorn, Casarino and Avisel Kutai. Menton is currently in 5th place, having been deposed by Boaz Maximov in the initial phase as they come through turn 10. Scott Marsh drifts a little bit wide out of the corner, allowing Max Swiderski to close up on the approach into turn number 12. We come round to complete lap number 1. Scott Marsh leads ahead of Max Swiderski. Mieshuben rounds out the top 3. Swiderski was looking a little bit menacing coming through into turns 1 and 2, but decides to hold back for the moment. Jake Menton now down in 7th position as Zdenek Babishek and Dean Hugendorn now take 5th and 4th respectively. Top 3 nearly line astern. Mieshuben losing a little bit of time to the front 2 on the back straightaway. But then closes up into the twistier parts of the circuit through 8 and into 9. Now into the right-hand sweeper at 10. Marsh on the defensive ahead of Swiderski as they come around to complete another lap, and Swiderski is leading the way in terms of the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 3.930 on the completion of lap number 1. He now gets right up close and personal with Scott Marsh. Marsh goes defensive again through into turns 1 and 2. Swiderski still holding back as there's a nice move up the inside. I think that was Zdenek Babishek on Dean Hugendorn for P4 going through turn number 4. Top 3 again, you can't really separate them at the moment. Scott Marsh from Great Britain in the number 47 from Dan Holland Racing, leading Max Swiderski from the Netherlands in the number 19. Mieshuben also from the Netherlands from GKS Lemons Power in the 28. Still keeping within striking distance. Fastest lap of the race last time around was Mieshuben with a 1 minute 2.586. As we complete lap number 3. Gap between the top 3 was 0.241 of a second. It's now 0.328 as Babishek trying to go up the inside of Hugendorn. I think might have made the move through into turn 2. Nicely done by the Czech Republic driver. But the cat and mouse game between the top 3 continues as Marsh keeps on the racing line, staying ahead of Max Swiderski for the minute. But Swiderski gets a really good slipstream coming into turn number 7. Decides not to push the envelope and try and go for a gap that is quite clearly, at the moment, very much not there. And all 9 drivers, last time around, the whole field covered by about 5.5 seconds. As we are fast approaching the completion of lap number 4 here. Swiderski going up the inside of Scott Marsh through turn 12. Marsh will have the run on the Dutch driver coming out of the corner. into the slipstream, takes a glance over the right shoulder, goes up the inside of Max Siderski. The pair go side by side into turn 1. Marsh slingshots through into turn 2, makes the move stick on the exit of the corner. Now into turns 3, 4, quickly into the left at 5, up to the right at 6. Siderski was again looking for the inside line, but Scott Marsh gave absolutely no room for any kind of manoeuvrability up the inside. But Mies Huben, well, the fastest lap of this race has gone into the hands of Max Siderski, who was leading, but then Scott Marsh managed to put one past the Dutch driver going into turn 2, as we're heading into the last 2 minutes plus an additional lap. Still very much undecided who will have the upper hand going into the last few moments of this race. Lap 5 is in the books. Siderski going to go side by side. Mies Huben looking up the inside. Oh, Marsh has no other alternative but to relinquish the lead and second position, as both Mies Huben and Max Siderski got past in the slipstream going into turn 2. And Marsh was looking up the inside of Mies Huben ever so briefly through turns 3 and 4. And now gets the run on the GKS Lemons power driver through into turn 7. But the Dutch driver still staying in second for the minute. Max Siderski leads. 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock remaining plus an additional lap. We're on lap number 6 in this race. And Zdenek Babishek having a good run in this particular race ahead of the Netherlands' Dean Hugendorn. Jake Minton rounds out the top 6 ahead of Boaz Maximov, with Niklas Casarino from Germany in 8th position. Dragos Avisil Kutai from Austria rounds out the 9 strong. So this is the penultimate lap as Mies Huben now goes for the lead. Goes up the inside of Max Siderski into turn 1. Marsh now looking to just keep with them. And then look at the perfect opportunity to get past. And the main 2 overtaking points here as Siderski sends it up the inside of Huben to retake the lead going into the back straightaway. The best 2 opportunities is coming out of turn 12 and coming out of turn 6, and then going to use the power and also the slipstream to maximum advantage heading into the respective corners. Now Marsh has got past Mies Huben for P2. One more lap to go after this one. Huben on the back bumper of Marsh going through turns 10 and 11. This time around, Max Siderski will see the final lap board. This is the hurry-up sign that Scott Marsh needs now. He needs to move forward. And Siderski, again, puts in the fastest lap of the race on the penultimate lap, a 1 minute 2.113. As Zdenek Babishek trying to fend off Dean Hugendorn for 4th place in the dying stages as they go through into turn 5, now into 6. Hugendorn up the inside for 4th place. As now into turn 7 for the final time come the 3 leaders. Siderski leads, Marsh in 2nd, Mies Huben in 3rd. Then it's Zdenek Babishek and Dean Hugendorn battling over 4th and 5th respectively. Leaders now approaching turn number 10 as Zdenek Babishek manages to get past Dean Hugendorn, who took 4th for the briefest of moments. But this time the checkered flag will wave. This time, once again, it looks like Max Siderski has got it in the bag. And that's 2 for 2. It's a little bit more of a muted celebration from the Dutch driver this particular time around, as we now wait for our final 2 competitors, as Dragos Avisul Kutai from Austria gets ahead of Niklas Casarino from Germany. But by 0.362 seconds, Max Siderski from the Netherlands takes the win in heat number 2 for Micromax, finishing 0.362 seconds ahead of Great Britain's Scott Marsh. Mies Huben from GKS Lemons Power, also representing the Netherlands, rounds out the top 3. Zdenek Babishek this time takes 4th. Dean Hugendorn in 5th place for SP Motorsport, with Jake Menton in the 31. Boris Maximov in the 32, taking 7th place ahead of Dragos Afisul-Kurtai from Austria, running under the KSCA Sorry Europe team awning, or as Niklas Casarino from Nice Racing will complete the 9-strong grid. But once again, Max Sidursky doing a great job there to fend off the likes of Scott Marsh and Mies Hubin to take the win in Heat 2 in Micromax.